Hey everybody, it's Chamber Matt, and I am sitting down with Chief Jeff Faucet, the head dude here at South Kitsap Fire and Rescue, and we're going to play a little game here. I just invented it, so it's.
You just invented it?
I just invented this.
All
20
right.
questions, so nobody's ever heard of 20 questions
20
before.
questions.
So we're
Nothing like being in the hot seat.
That's right. We're going to shoot for 20 questions in 20 minutes, and we'll see if we can do that. We got a little clock here going, so if we go too long, I'll just shut us off.
I don't know if it's for you or me, the clock.
Either one of us.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been told that I've been long-winded too, so.
All right, here we go. We've already wasted a minute.
That's it. So we're just going to start right off again. This is Chief Faucet, and so the toughest question here, I think, is how long have you been chief?
I had to think about this one. 3 years on July 1st.
On July 1st. That's
Yep.
what I remember.
Yeah,
I
July
remember
1st.
that. Super.
Yep.
So, second question then is simple. How big is South Kitsap Fire District?
117 square miles, little over 80,000 residents.
A little over 80,000 residents, and so that runs from the Pierce County border, the Pierce County Kitsap border, through Port Orchard, up, includes the airport.
Includes the airport, Mason
And
County.
So
Pierce County and Mason County.
Okay, Pierce County, Mason County. And how far north does it go?
We go all the way up to the city of Bremerton limits, but we also have two chunks of unincorporated city of Bremerton, which is Rocky Point Road and the southern half of Navy Yard City off of Loxie-Egan. So basically Loxie-Egan's back down to Highway 304.
Okay.
And then the water all the way around through Manchester, all the way back out, and then the water all the way through Rich
So
Passage.
it's pretty big.
Huge.
Pretty big district.
Yep.
Okay. So next question then is you've got that, what did you say, 117?
117 square miles.
117 square miles. How many stations do you have in that
We have
117?
11 fire stations.
11 fire stations
Yep.
spread out throughout that territory.
Yep.
To man those stations, how many firefighters, how many people do you have?
Right. So we have 93 full-time firefighters. All of our firefighters are either an EMT or a paramedic. So 72 are firefighter EMTs, 21 of those are firefighter paramedics. And then in addition to that, we also have about 30 volunteer firefighters that help support the district and throughout the community.
So, taking it from the top, we got 117 square miles, 11 stations, 93 folks. How many people then? So you got 3 shifts, and you've got so out of those 11 stations, how many stations on any given day have people in them?
People are in them 24 hours a day, 6 of our fire stations.
6. So there's 6 manned stations.
Yep. And I think it's important too, Matt, because as I'm out there talking to the public, it's important that those other 5 fire stations, 3 of them are basically garages. They have 2 of them have no water sewer. They are just a pole building that's out off Nelson Road and at the corner of Mentorbrook and Glenwood. And another one it's the Lala station at Station 12 Mullinex. No bedrooms. It's an older facility. So some people ask, well, why don't you staff all those fire stations? We simply can't. There's nothing in there. So the other 5 fire stations are volunteers, and the volunteers come in like they did yesterday.
All right. So 6 manned stations. How many folks? How many personnel are in each of those 6 stations on a given day?
On a given day. 3 of those 6 only have 2 firefighters, and 3 of them have 4. We count the battalion chief in one of those.
Yeah, but chiefs don't count.
Exactly. So
Chiefs
the
don't
people
count.
on the fire engines and ambulances, 3 of them have 4, 3 of them have 2.
Okay. So that's not a lot of coverage for 117 square miles.
19 people.
19 people on a day.
On a day.
On a typical day.
Yep.
All right. So we got 19 people on a day manning 6 stations over 117 square miles. What's your average call count per day?
Per day, we are right at, if I use 2020 to 35 calls. 35 calls a day. Yep.
35 calls a day. So those dudes
It's going up, but 35 is our last count.
Okay.
Yep.
So that kind of sets the stage for us, Chief, as to what the state of the district.
That's who we are.
So now let me ask you this, and I'm recording this today on the 5th of July. The 4th of July was an exciting day in South Kitsap Fire and Rescue. two major incidents happened.
We did. Actually, there was 3, but 2 that I think we captured on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about structure fires then.
Yeah.
A structure fire is what? That's a house, it's a building.
Any type of building. It could be commercial, residential, multi-residential, but structure is a structure.
Okay, and those are usually kind of big.
They are.
So what happens when you have a structure fire? You've got 6 stations manned, 11 people, right? No, 19 people. And write that down. 19 people on staff at a time, and you get a structure fire. What happens?
Everybody goes. So in order to effectively mitigate a structure fire, we need at least 15 and typically 17 people. And the reason we throw out between 15 and 17, we need 15 to actively engage in the firefighting suppression, but because over 80% of our organization is rural, we also have to bring the water with us. And so we usually tag on 2 extra people to bring the water trucks. That is in case the volunteers are not available. Yesterday, we had volunteers that were available, but during the daytime, a lot of them work, and so we tag on the extra 2. So 17 of our 19 people are committed to that one incident.
So I know one of the big kickers that we had yesterday was out in the Olalla area, pretty far south in Peacock.
That's almost as far south as we could
It's
go.
almost as far south.
Right on the line.
Everybody from South Kitsap Fire and Rescue basically went to that fire.
Not only did everybody from South Kitsap Fire and Rescue, but we had 2 ambulances already on a transport. So 4 of my 19 firefighters were already committed to another incident.
Okay.
So on Peacock Hill, we also got an engine from Bremerton Fire, and we got a battalion chief out of Bremerton Fire. And I believe, still haven't seen all of it, but I do believe we got a Pierce County unit on one of those as well.
Which kind of brings up this next question of, we're talking about Bremerton and Pierce County and mutual aid. How does mutual aid work?
Well, the key word on mutual aid is that word mutual. And so in the fire service, we have interlocal agreements with all of our neighbors, Gig Harbor, Key Peninsula, every fire agency in Kitsap County. And when we are in need, we have automatic agreements that we can call them at any time. We don't have to fill out paperwork. We have a mutual. But the understanding built into those contracts is it's mutual. So if they respond to South Kitsap one time, I can respond to them one time. And what my concern is as we continue to grow and grow and grow, that mutual becomes lopsided. And we have to really be careful that we don't rely on other taxing jurisdictions to do our work for us. And so even last night as we got busy, as 4th of July really kicked in and as the sun started settling down, the county fire chief stopped the automatic mutual aid so that we could protect our own communities and not pull fire engines as far away as Silverdale into South Kitsap, or our fire engines all the way up into Silverdale. And so, but on the day-to-day, mutual is open, it's good for us, but we can't rely on first in every single day response from our neighbors.
So again, the Olalla was a prime example, Peacock. So I briefly want to mention the Olalla and the Burley area. You got the Burley station clear out on Bethel, down by the Olalla Burley Road. You got the Mullinex station, which you talked about, which is, and in fact, neither one of those stations are manned, correct?
Correct.
So where's the closest manned station then?
Bethel, just south of Fred Meyer.
Okay, so just south of. So what happens when, I guess, on the Peacock Hill fire? What was the first unit that
first unit was Station 11. Station 11 is, because Station 11 is centrally located.
That's one in Bethel.
Bethel, Burley, just down from Fred Meyer. Because they're right there, they can get on the freeway, they can get up Mullinex, they can go as far down as Burley, Olalla, and jump up there. So Station 11 has a very fast and large response zone just because of their location. There is some question even within the community that Peacock Hill is Station 10, which we have now unstaffed after last year, or as of this year.
So you're talking station numbers, and that doesn't mean anything.
Sorry.
Doesn't mean anything to me or to these guys. So.
All right, let me see. Station 10 is on Banner Road. and just up by Sedgwick, just down the road off of Sedgwick Road, Banner and King Road. That was staffed 24 hours a day until March, and because of our call volume down at Station 11, we pulled our 24-hour staffing from there and moved them down to Bethel to have 2 units run out of Bethel. And the large reason for that is we, through analytics and started watching, we were Station 10 on Banner Road was actually responding more to other areas, including Station 11's area, than they were actually available in their own station. It's not the decision that we like to make, but it is a decision that we felt was better for our community, because Bethel, simply down by Fred Meyer, they weren't available. They were constantly being called out. And the biggest portion of that was because they're a paramedic unit. And so they became our busiest paramedic unit. Now there is a fire engine that's responding out of there. So in your question, what was our fastest station to get out to Peacock Hill? That was Station 11, who jumped on the highway and got there.
So, and you did have a Pierce County unit?
I believe so, yes.
That came in and helped out on
that. Yeah, we got
too.
mutual aid yesterday from both Key Peninsula and Gig Harbor Fire. We had 2 major incidents, both at the south end. One off of Lake Flora and Sunny Slope, which is a 6-acre brush fire that happened just after the structure fire. Actually, they kind of overlapped a little bit, and the structure fire.
Okay.
So I remember seeing several units from outside the
And so our hope is that eventually mutual aid will continue to be mutual.
We need it to remain mutual. And the only way to do that is with more people.
All right. So then let's talk a little bit about the district and where it stands. So right now, 11 stations. What's the current condition of the stations? What are we looking at there?
So the current staff stations that we are at, there's 2 of them that we have had our concerns, especially over the last 5 to 6 years. And that is the Bethel station, Station 11, just down from Fred Meyer, and the Yukon Harbor station down in Manchester.
Now, is that one manned?
That one is currently manned.
Okay.
Now I will say that out of the 3 stations, the other one is the Bethel that you referred to down by Bethel and Berlin-Lala, Station 14. The two stations on Bethel, both are rather small. Neither one of them, in fact, we're getting ready to build a new fire engine in the district, and we've got to be careful how we build these so that they fit in the bays, because those are very small bays, and you can build a truck that wouldn't fit, and that would be bad. And so the condition of the fire stations, we have preventive maintenance, we do the things that we can, but there's going to be a day where water isn't available, or the septic is going to fail, or we just can't add any more. You take the Yukon Harbor station, it literally sits on a quarter of an acre, and it only has 2 bedrooms. And we could spend another 20 minutes because we only have a little bit left. But the goal is not to have just 2 people in our fire stations, and I could get into the reasons why if people want to come and listen to my public speech on that. But we need 3 people on our fire engines, and in order to do that, you have to have bigger fire stations, and there's simply no way to build those on those small lots.
Okay. What about equipment? Trucks, I know that about probably 7 years ago.
Almost 8 now.
Almost 8 years now. Yeah. The district passed a levy, brought in 10 new...
A bond. We always confuse those.
A bond, yes.
A bond.
Passed a bond, brought in 10 new trucks?
Total about 11. So 5 water trucks and 6 fire engines. And the fire engines and the fleet are doing well. I will tell you, post-COVID, everything slowed down. Just like you and I trying to buy a car right now is difficult, so is buying a fire engine. One of our fire engine vendors that actually builds them, the last estimate we had, it was going to take 5 years. If I ordered it today, I would not see that fire engine for almost 5 years away.
Wow.
We're working on some ways to streamline that. But we do have the need in the next couple of years to purchase 2 new fire engines to replace 2 of them that have hit their 25-year mark. The rigs that we have, this year we're excited. We just put 3 brand new ambulances in service that we had saved up for, we were ready for, did not have to go out for a bond for that, and we paid cash for those 3 ambulances. So we continue to hold to our promises that we will not go out and ask the citizens for a bond for new equipment, and continue to keep up with our equipment.
Right.
So we are actually should have a process starting in the next couple months to purchase that new fire engine. It'll take us a couple of years before it arrives here in South Kitsap, but that process is already working.
Yeah, I know, because the big thing was the you guys are continuing to put capital funds away to replace
Absolutely.
equipment. So
Yes.
that's it's demonstrating a little bit of financial responsibility there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So about the current levy,
Yes.
is this a new request? Are you guys going out and asking for brand new spanking money? Where does this fit into the financial aspects of things?
So we have every fire district, junior taxing district in Washington State, can ask their citizens for a fire levy and an EMS levy. And the fire levy and EMS levy are the main sources, 85% of our revenue at South Kitsap Fire and Rescue. So to answer your question, the fire levy is not new. We've renewed the fire levy for as long as I can remember, and I've been here since 1992. Every 6 years, we ask for the fire levy to be renewed. The same thing for the EMS levy. The EMS levy is not on the same cycle. We don't do them at the same time, but we did it in 2021. Citizens approved this EMS levy, and those are our two main sources of revenue. The other 15% of our income comes through ambulance billing, some contracts that we have, maybe some federal grants, but not a lot. And so the fire levy is not new. What is new is when it is renewed from the current $1.09 to $1.50 is that 41 cents. And we could go back in time. I could have a chart if we wanted to. We don't have time. But the fire levy is not new. We are asking for new money, which is an increase. And we
So is that the 41 cents?
That's the 41 cents. And that 41 cents is what we are projecting and what we are asking the citizens to renew, to give us the ability to hire more firefighters to handle this call volume and what we've been talking about.
So, so taxes aren't going to go up by $1.50.
No.
No. Okay.
No. We are all currently, you and I both live within the fire district. We are currently paying $1.09, about $1.09 and 10. It's somewhere depending on how many far you want to take the decimal point
Yeah.
out.
No. Okay.
But we're already paying that, and this is a renewal. We're at the 6-year mark. It expires at the end of this year. The renewal, there was a 41 cent increase to the next level.
Okay. So these next couple questions are probably quickies. So are you, with these funds, do you intend to buy any new stations?
We're not buying new stations.
They're not buying new stations, not building new stations, none of that stuff.
No.
And then with these funds, any other substantial equipment purchases?
So we will continue to keep on our equipment plans. So we just talked about a new fire engine. We are looking at some new to try and control our costs. Fire engines have gotten very expensive. I could go on rabbit trails here, but when we purchased those fire engines with the bond, we paid about $450,000 per fire engine. Fire engines today, because of the costs and inflations, are running us about $800,000 to $850,000. So we're going to continue down that path to be ready to purchase those with these levy monies and putting capital money away. But I'm also working with our staff on how we can drive down with a different look of a fire engine to see if we can't buy some smaller fire engines for our rural areas that still meet all the requirements that I could get for a little bit less rather than buying $850,000 or even $1 million fire engine. So yes, we're continuing down that.
All right. So why is this levy necessary?
Levies for your fire district provide the resources that we need for people. So 85% of our budget is for levies. 85% of our budget comes out of a levy. 85% of our budget is for the people that serve our community. Volunteer, career, everybody. It is the personnel cost to get people out there. We use the other 15% of our budget to make sure that we have capital money that goes away and keep up with everything else. And so this levy we will put the majority of the effort into hiring firefighters and getting more people on staff 24 hours a day.
All right, so what happens if this levy does not pass?
Do we have to talk about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, does the $1.09 even go away?
So the $1.09 stays where it is.
Okay.
The $1.09 stays where it is. But as you and I, Matt, you and I
It'll go
have
down.
lots of conversations. As assessed valuations of your property and my property goes up, that $1.09 may drop to $1.08, and then I have it on the whiteboard here. They can't see it, but I've tried to draw it out for people. But that money will continue. The money that we have today will continue. The problem that we have is there's inflation. So all of my fuel, all of our labor costs, all of our supplies and equipment. There's an inflationary rate that goes up. Last year it was somewhere around 6%. And so we are capped at 1% beginning next year. And at 1% growth, if 85% of my budget is people, the only flex that I have in our budget is through people. I have to pay for fuel, I have to pay for lights, I have to pay for water, I have to pay for all of that. The only flex I have and the fear that the Board of Commissioners and I have is that should this levy not pass, the only area that we can cut is in the number of firefighters we have on duty.
And there's only 93 of them, 19 on at a time.
That only 19 on time. So our plan going back, we had the levy on the ballot in 2022. Had that levy passed in November, we were ready to increase our staffing to 21 firefighters and put those 2 extra people at Station 11 on Bethel. When it did not pass, we had to adjust our course, and that's how Station 10's personnel was moved. I do anticipate that this would happen again. We haven't quite decided how it would or how soon it would, but if the levy does not pass this time, I can only start coring my people up and bringing them in, or drop my minimum staffing from 19 to 17 down if I just don't have enough people.
Right, so, okay. All right, so...
I said I didn't want to talk about it.
I know, I know. That's not a good thing.
No.
So I do know. So where are we at on time, there, Chief?
We're right there.
We're over. So yeah. we are at 21 minutes. So we almost made it.
We almost did.
We almost made it.
We were close.
So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions.
Okay.
The No campaign. I see the No campaigns out there. It says it's $188 million.
186.
$186 million over 6 years.
Yeah.
How in the world did they come up with those numbers? I'm just curious.
I don't know that. I have provided, through public records requests, I provided all of our budgets. You don't need a public records request, by the way. You can go right to our website and view it there. It's not $186 million, because just as I said, if the levy should not pass, the current levy will continue through. So even if it doesn't pass, that levy is going to continue. It's just going to continue with no growth, no new money for new firefighters or any of that. So if we just took that 41 cents over the next 6 years, we guesstimate that's going to be somewhere between 45 and 50 million. It could be a little less depending on how our AV lands. So the best case that we come up with is about 150 million, 155 million, not 186.
Right. And that's not new.
Yeah, it's not new.
So it's not new. Okay. So last question. Where can we get more information?
Our website, www.skfr.org. We have all of our, as much information. As I'm going around talking to people like you and we get different questions, we're constantly updating our FAQs. And so if people have been on there and it's been a month, go back on there today and you might find some new questions that are being asked that we're now answering. And so that's the best thing. And then also, I am available, the vote is on August 1st, but I am available between now and August 1st, as I have been for the last 6 months, to talk to anybody who wants to sit down and have coffee with me or come to your group or whatever. We're out there.
So social media too.
Yes.
Is there a separate social media site for the levy?
There is not. Just skfr.org on the website or on social media.
On social media, right, okay. Yeah. And then, if you guys do belong to a group and you want to have the chief come, I'll give you his home phone number. I'll put it on the little banner here, and you can track the chief down anytime. Last question here, Chief. Any last thoughts? Anything you would like to add before? I mean, this has been a fast-paced thing. Yeah. And I don't know if you've got any last thoughts that you can share. Again, you can always call the chief.
Yeah, you can always call me, but just in closing, I just want people to understand we are here for you. We are here for our community, and we work for you. And as I've come out and tried to share our vision on where we're going, yes, we are a large fire district. We are the largest agency in Kitsap County with the least number of firefighters on duty every single day. And that toll is being felt by all of our firefighters. I'm proud of all the firefighters that are career or volunteer. Yesterday was a good testament of what the firefighters do, to the point of exhaustion, to the point of firefighters needing IVs on the fire scene to keep up, to go to the next call. But if our projections are even close to being accurate, South Kitsap Fire and Rescue in the next 6 years could be running almost 19,000 calls with the amount of people that are moving into our district. So this levy is very important. A no on this would be, I don't like to use the term catastrophic, but it would be a significant impact in the fire and emergency responses. But what I am grateful for is the people that we are out there meeting, the people that we're having the conversations with, they seem to understand it. And once they hear where we're going and what we're doing, I think that they will have an informed decision come August 1st. And that's what we're hoping, have an informed decision.
Right. And I think that's the thing that I can't stress more than anything is, if you're not sure, do your research, do your own research. Don't believe everything you read on social media or all the signs that you see on the side of the street. Although I can't believe anybody on Facebook would lie to us. But do your own research, make an informed decision. The election is August 1st. Is that what it was? August 1st. So it's coming up quick. I think the 15th, 14th is when they drop. Mm-hmm. Ballots come out on the 14th, so go ahead and fill those guys out and get them back in the mail as soon as you get them. So with that, I'd like to thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Matt.
And
thank you, everybody.
Yep, thanks for watching. And
for 26 minutes.
Stay tuned for my South Kitsap School District report.